Who do you think would win in a fight, Felix or Jane?
Felix or who?
Or Jane?
Firefly.
What?
Firefly.
No, Jane from the Volturi.
Oh, yeah. Like, that's genre, yeah. It's crazy. Well, the thing is, she got that little power. So, Felix is a tough SOB. I think if he just dealt with it, just got close enough to get one hand on that little kid. Yeah, you know what I would do if I was Felix? I'd throw something at her. She doesn't know what's coming. She doesn't have Edward's power. So basically, if I could just get my hands on something with my back to her, turn around, BAM! Out cold. It's over. You can't do anything when she's out cold. Still got the belt. But if she saw me coming.
I wanted to know if you could maybe talk a little bit about working with the different directors and what you think that brings to each film, having a kind of fresh perspective.
There was a big difference between New Moon and Eclipse. You could tell the style of the movie is just different. I like that. I like that they bring more to it. When we're working with Chris, he's the one who cast me, so I have a special place in my heart for him. He's a really good man and a fun guy and a fun director to work with. He's also an actor, so he can talk to actors. Had a wonderful experience working with him. And I always felt that New Moon had like these soft, earth tone colors. And then when you went to Eclipse, it was more like, it looked more harsh, colder, darker. And David's great. I mean, he's a great guy. I like working with him too. He was very he knew exactly what he wanted, where he was precise in what he wanted to do. So for me, I like working with different directors. It just keeps me on my toes. And, I welcome it. I think it's a good experience. I think everyone should do it.
Yeah, I felt extremely appreciative that starting off that way, that I got an opportunity to work with two different directors on a project. It was cool. It's like getting a little bit of diversity there and learning out of that. Yeah, I had the same thing, because Chris was the one who cast me, so I feel the same way about that. But just learning from both of them, it was a cool experience. They both had different ways of working, different ways of doing things. It's cool taking note of that.
You kind of covered it. It's a great idea, I think, changing directors all the time, because you can find in trilogies that sometimes, maybe the book or circumstance or whatever it may be that director maybe not put everything into it. He says he does, but sometimes he doesn't. You can see it, or it's a choice. But it's great to bring someone new on, because every single time it is someone's brand new project and their baby for them to just put everything into it. And I mean, a director puts a lot into a film, a lot of their life. And so you can understand on trilogies why sometimes it gets a little, they're just tired. And it could be back-to-back shooting. You never know. So having new director in each one has been great so far. I mean, you talk about Chris Weiss, who's this kind of master of preparation Buddha who just sits there and nothing phases him, and the aura in the room while working is so calm and relaxed that you feel like you're kind of, that something bad should happen, or that you're like, why is it so relaxed right now? It should be mayhem right now. And so he just kind of floats around and has everything prepared and knows exactly what's going on and has great notes for you. Like Chaske says, it's very easy to kind of interpret. Sometimes directors will give you a note that you go, what? So that in itself is nice. David is, he's a real kind of, he's a camera guy, he's a real photographer. He's really into the camera and the moods and the feelings. And you can see that in his other films. They bring that kind of darker element out of things. He puts it in his film. It's got that edge to it that you can kind of feel when you saw it. You can see the sort of mood feeling, and that book is about revenge, and that is an aggressive mood, and that you can see it throughout the whole thing. So that in itself is nice. And he's just so, so many, you can see a million things are going through his head at once. They're trying to decipher sometimes what he wants. It's kind of difficult, but at the same time, it's that creative juices that are flowing, which is always fun to work off of while you're on set. So it's nice to have a new person every single time. It's kind of cool for an actor to have another perspective. When, especially when you're playing a role, you can get into a bit of a, I don't want to say lazy, but you can get into a bit of a rut where you just kind of are that character. And with a new director, an older director who's worked with you a couple times, you just go, well, that's you playing that character. But a new director can kind of bring more things out of you and say, whoa, what are you doing there? Which is nice for an actor who sometimes don't realize that you can't see yourself what you're doing.
I had a question, actually. Y'all are adults now, but if your 10-year-old self... Sorry, oh my God. It's the great and powerful Wizard of Oz or whatever. Y'all are adults now, but if your 10-year-old self got to choose your movie roles for you, what would they want you to be?
Well, I am actually 10. I haven't told anybody this, but I'm not an adult.
That's fake facial there. Man. Well, my problem is that when I was younger, I didn't really have a TV. I didn't really have a TV until I was like 13 or 12. So, I'm trying to think.
You can go for 12.
Do you remember when you used to like rent? Anyone used to rent VCRs?
Yes.
That's what we would do in like movie night. This tiny like 13-inch screen. Whole family curled around. My mom's funny. She's a hippie, so she really didn't like violence. So a lot of times I'd watch violent movies at friends' houses. I think when I was 10, I think some of the big things were like action, kung fu type things. You're a little boy, you're like, yeah, kung fu, Chuck Norris, and who else was on? Steven Seagal. I think I wanted to have a ponytail. I knew some kung fu or something. Probably. That's what I probably would have picked. I would be like, I want to beat up the world, and be like, get the girl. And, I'm probably 10 years old. I was like, I'm going to love the girl. To be honest, just want to know some karate.
When I was a kid, jeez. I was always a fan of Indiana Jones.
I was actually just going to say that. You stole that.
I love Indiana Jones.
Right, I was like, oh yeah, there it is. It's right.
Indiana Jones. I even had
Temple
Temple
of Doom? Temple of Doom? Or The Last Crusade? Last Crusade is where it's at.
And honestly, they should have left it. You know? I loved when they were riding on the sunset.
I know, right?
Sean Connery. So cool. Indeed.
Hey, Sean Connery, do that. He's Stone Cold Pimp, man. He lives in a castle. Want to come back to my place? Yeah, it's a one-bedroom apartment. I want to come back to my place. Probably has the Aston Martin from the early Bonds. Exactly. Sexiest cars in the world. I'd go home with a car.
I actually just got handed a really lovely question. The tattoos that the Wolfpack has to have, did you guys have any artistic input in those? And did anybody actually like go and get one for real?
Oh, the tattoo?
Mm-hmm.
No, we had no.
Yeah, we had no idea what, actually, it wasn't until like the end of shooting that I even knew what the tattoo was. Like I took a good long look at my arm and I was like, oh, hey, that's what it is. There's like a wolf there and there's another one there.
That was a maze.
I'm lost. I can't do this, guys. I need help.